there are 6 weeks left of 2024 if you're listening to this video or watching this video when I uploaded it. So within those 6 weeks, I'm giving you a plan and a process for you to align to your wish fulfilled, the state you want to inhabit, the identity, the life that you want, the goals that you have, so that you can actually start to make the changes now to have the best 2025. And that's not to say that in 2024, if you follow this process or any other time, that within these 6 weeks, you will not have immense changes happen in your life. It's actually phenomenal, the things that can happen. And so if you listen to my podcast episodes that I published yesterday, I'll put a link up. I don't know where it'll go. It'll be up here somewhere and down in the description, but I'll put that link down below so that you can go back and listen to the episode. The episode is talking about kicking off the next 6 weeks and how you're going to start by determining what it is that you actually want, the feelings that you want to have, the very specific things that you want to have, and then also becoming aware of whatever limiting beliefs or whatever is holding you back currently. I think a lot of times what happens to folks, and this is what I hear quite a lot when I'm working with people, is that there's a fear to be honest with yourself about what you're currently feeling. So maybe you're saying affirmations, or there's something that you want to do, and you're holding yourself back from actually admitting and accepting, quote unquote, what it is that you feel about that thing now. So a good example is, let's say that you have a specific person and you really want that person, and you keep using affirmations to say that this person and you are in a loving relationship. But every time you say that, you have a part of you that's like, oh, no, they actually ignore me. They don't talk to me. They leave me on red. They want nothing to do with me. Well, that's the actual feeling. That's where you're dwelling. It's the same as, let's say you want to be a multimillionaire, but then you have a feeling in the back of your mind that's like, man, if I made that much money, my family would want me to support them, and I don't want to do that. So I just don't want to actually have that much money. And so when you're denying those feelings and you're not recognizing them and jumping into the possibility of what else could be available to you, you're not actually changing your state. You're just creating conflict. And this is why sometimes you'll hear people who say, well, I do affirmations and it's not working. Or I do the visualization and it's not working. Or I do this like scripting technique and it's not working. Or maybe they'll have success in some areas. You may find this for yourself, like, oh, I've had great success in some areas, but then in others, I am flopping and I'm not figuring this out. And it's because it all needs to align together. Your feelings have to match your words. What's going on inside has to match what it is that you actually want. And so the first step of this process is to figure out what it is that you actually want. I've got some really great questions, and I also have a journal that can walk you through all of this. It'll walk you through aligning to that wish fulfilled. It's completely free. The link is down below. So if you want to get a PDF version of that journal, go ahead, click the link. I'll have it kind of at the top somewhere in the description. You can go fill out all the information. It's got questions for you. It's multiple pages. It also gives you a meditation technique so that you can calm yourself, consider what it is you want, the feelings that you want to have, and also teaches you how to return to these possibilities. It's a lot of what we're going to be going over today. So I have gone over these questions before. I'm going to share them again. But when you're trying to determine what it is that you want, it can either be a very specific thing or it can be an overall feeling, right? So you may say, well, I want a relationship, but I don't have a specific person. I just want somebody that loves me and has companionship and is honest and loyal. And I would pick living and hanging out with them over anybody else in the world. If I had no friends, it would be okay because I had them, right? Not to say that you shouldn't have friends because you're in a relationship, but just somebody that you would really enjoy being around. It's important to understand that you don't have to have a specific person in mind. You could just have a relationship, a feeling, a love, companionship, desire in mind. The same with a career. You can say, well, I know that I want to feel successful, but I don't know what that looks like. Well, that's all right. You can just lean into the feelings of success. But one of the questions that I would like you to ask yourself is that if you knew you only had 1 year left to live, what is it that you would stop doing? Where would you stop putting your energy? What would you stop concerning yourself with? How would you stop talking to yourself? How would you stop talking about yourself? How would you stop living your life, the things that you would do, the habits and the routines that you would not keep if you knew that your time was limited? And then on the flip side of that, what would you start doing? What are the things that you would like to experience in life that you would start doing if you knew that your time was limited? What are the people that you would reach out to and talk to and spend time with and want to let them know how you actually felt about them? How would you spend your time if you knew that it was limited? What would you start doing? The other question is, how do you want to feel when you go to bed at night? If you truly think about the things that you want to do and how you want to feel when you go to bed, how is it? And how do you feel now? Do you go to bed feeling defeated, sad, going through the list of why you hate your job and your boss is so awful and you're not creative and you can't pay your bills, and frustrated and upset and not loved and feeling just like alone? How would you prefer to feel? And you can list all of that out. What are those feelings that you would like to generate when you go to bed at night? What are the thoughts that you would like to have as you drift off to sleep? And then the most important question that I tell everybody you should really get into a habit of asking yourself throughout the day is that when you have this desired outcome, you have your wish fulfilled, you know what it is that you want, whether it's a feeling or a specific thing, like, oh, I want $10,000, or oh, I want to have a loving relationship with XYZ person, or oh, I want to be in this university, whatever it is. Ask yourself throughout the day, is my current habit, is my current routine, what I'm doing right now, the way I'm talking to myself right now, the thing that I'm thinking, the habit that I'm physically having, right? Is that aligned with this person? Is this aligned? If I looked at myself from the outside, right, as like a third party, and I said, okay, I want to be in a loving relationship. Okay, so currently, what am I doing right now? And is it aligned to somebody who would be loved and feels cared about and feels like they're important? Or is it showing desperation? And I know that that may sound a little harsh, but it's truth, right? And I've had to do this to myself. Am I showing desperation, whether it's in a job or a relationship or even friendships? Am I showing desperation in my current behaviors, or am I showing that I'm actually somebody who lives a life that they enjoy? Am I doing things for myself? Am I talking to myself in a way that shows love and care for me? And so you can start asking yourself that throughout the day. So when you come down to this and you do these questions, you'll start to recognize, okay, this is actually what I want. So we're going to use a relationship for this video. So I want a loving relationship, and we'll just say overall, not a specific person that you have in mind, just an overall relationship. And you say, okay, I want this. And then you start to look, well, when I think about it though, what are my current beliefs? What are the current things that pop up into my mind when I think about being in a loving relationship? I think about having somebody that I go to bed at night or that texts me in the morning to see how I'm doing. What are those feelings around that? And if the feelings that you have now are ones of, oh, I'll never find that. Good men don't exist. Women don't want me. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not good enough. Whatever kind of feeling it is that comes, I never meet anybody. I never meet the person that I want. I'm always alone. I end up being, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Recognize those. We're not going to dwell in those, right? We're not going to continue to feed those thoughts and those feelings, but you can recognize them, because the only way that you can change something is by first becoming aware of it. So by becoming aware of these feelings that you're having, then you can say, okay, those are them, but I want to meditate now. I want to stop and consider, what are the other possibilities that are available to me? And out of those possibilities, and the journal walks you through this process, what are those possibilities? So once you get to those possibilities, which one's the one that you actually want? And start returning to that feeling. And you go back to that question. Okay, so I know that this is the feeling that I want. I know this is the thing that I want. This is the possibility that I want. The possibility is that I'm in a very cherished and loved relationship, and I feel deeply in love with my partner, and my partner shows that they love me every day. So then start asking yourself, is my current behavior, is my current habit, is my current inner speech aligned to this person that I want to be? And when the answer is no, okay, what can I do to change that? And start spending time each day considering, what does this possibility I want feel like? Return to that feeling over and over until it starts to crowd out your consciousness. If you're a follower of Neville Goddard, he actually talks about that. You return to this feeling, you return to it over and over until it actually crowds out any other feelings, and it will crowd it out. So this is kind of that first step. This is what I want you to work on this week. The podcast episode gave some of the info. This is going kind of a little bit deeper, to be honest, but in a very quick hit kind of way, right? It's probably going to be under 10 minutes. But I want you to consider to continue to go back to that feeling of the possibility. This is the possibility I want. This is what it feels like. Am I aligned to that right now? And you're just going to continue to ask yourself this over and over. And each day, spend time considering what it feels like to be within that possibility. So if you have any questions, you can definitely leave them down below. Or if you would like it to be more anonymous, you can send me an email. It's unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. Make sure you subscribe. I'm doing a whole series on this. We're going to talk about gratitude. We're going to talk about your morning routines, evening routines, how to align to the person you want to be, how to set your intentions, and also how to begin using like law of assumption, law of attraction principles. If you're brand new to it, you need kind of very step-by-step guide. I'm going to be posting so much. I'm so freaking excited about this. I really am. Like, I've got so much stuff coming. I've put together so much content. I cannot wait. This is going to be the most amazing process for you to go through, to be like, oh no, this is truly actions for me to make the next step. This is something for me to do so that I can actually live a life and have the things that I want, live a life that I love, that I feel good about, that I'm joyful, that I'm happy. Yeah, I'm just super excited to share this with you. And I'm going to share my own journey. I'm going to be working on some of my own goals and walking through it as I go on here. And I lied, this video is definitely over 10 minutes, but at least the meat of it was under 10 minutes. But so if you have not subscribed, please make sure that you do. I don't want you to miss any of this. I truly want to make sure that everybody who watches my content walks away with something they can do today. That you say, man, I could put this into action right now today to align to the person I want to be, to shift my mindset, to change the way that I am reacting to things that happen in my life. I want you to know exactly how to create a life that you actually want to live. So again, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, I always love to hear from you. My email is unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. And make sure that you grab that journal if you'd like to have something to list it out, and it'll walk you through all of the questions as well. I wish you nothing but the best.